Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Hostess by Isaac Asimov.
I was so happy about it when I came home, almost triumphant. I dashed in the front door, peeled off my gloves, threw my hat on the side table, and tossed my coat over the back of a chair.
Well, you missed supper.
Drake, we're going to have him here.
Who here? What are you talking about?
The doctor from Hawkins Planet. Didn't you realize that was what today's conference was about?
When you say the doctor from Hawkins Planet, do you mean the Hawkins site you've got at the Institute?
Well, of course. Who else could I possibly mean?
May I ask what the devil you mean by saying we'll have him here?
Darling, the Hawkins site would like to stay at a private house somewhere where he won't be bothered with official ceremony, where he'll be able to proceed more according to his own likes and dislikes. I find it quite understandable.
Whenever you start using formal sentences, I know you're hiding extreme irritation.
Well, you don't seem to be trying to hide it at all. Well, what's the matter?
Look, I don't see where we've got room for extraterrestrial visitors.
Are you serious? He can stay in the spare room. Honestly, Drake, all we have to do is show a certain amount of adaptability.
Sure, just a little adaptability. The Hawkins site breathes cyanide. We'll just adapt ourselves to that, I suppose.
He carries cyanide in a little cylinder. You won't even notice it.
Mm-hmm. And what else is there about them I won't notice?
Nothing else. They're perfectly harmless. They're even vegetarians.
Well, what about us? Do we eat meat ourselves, or will that make us look like cannibals to him? I won't live on salads to suit him, I warn you.
Drake, it means very much to me.
Well, why?
Because if he stays here for any length of time, I can study him real closely. Very little work has been done on the biology and psychology of the individual Hawkins site or of any of the extraterrestrial intelligences. Surely you must see the opportunity. He stays here. We speak to him, watch him, observe his habits.
Look, I've spoken to men who are in charge of security groups watching various Hawkins site missions on Earth. The missions stay in the rooms assigned to them. They don't leave for anything but the most important official business. They have nothing to do with Earthmen. It's quite obvious that they're as revolted by us as I personally am by them.
Drake, he's a doctor. He's coming here for medical research, and I'll grant you that he probably doesn't enjoy staying with human beings and will probably find us perfectly horrible. But he must stay just the same.
All right. Have it your own way. You sure you don't want any coffee?
No. Drake, you're not angry about this, are you?
No, I'm not angry.
Most of my friends had been surprised when I married Drake because they couldn't understand my marrying a policeman. I explained he wasn't simply a policeman. He was a member of the World Security Board, but most of the staff at the Institute thought it rather odd that I hadn't married a biologist or at least an anthropologist, even a chemist, but certainly not a policeman. I was waiting for Drake with some apprehension that evening as I sat in the living room. Hark Tolan, the Hawkins site, was standing quietly in the middle of the room. He was not sitting since he was not anatomically constructed to sit. He stood on two sets of limbs placed close together, while a third pair, entirely different in their construction, were suspended from a region that would have been the upper chest in the human being. His skin was hard, glistening, and ridged, and his face wore a distant resemblance to something alienly bovine.
Mrs. Smollett, you must forgive my English. The construction of my mouth
combined with the absence of incisors and canine teeth, is an obstacle to clear speech.
I think you speak very well.
Thank you.
My husband will be home soon, and then we'll eat.
Your husband?
Well,
Husband?
Yes, you know. Mr. Smollett.
A male, of course. You must forgive me, Mrs. Smollett. Perhaps the greatest source of confusion among the 5 known races of the galaxy lies in the differences among them in regard to their sex life and the social institutions that grow around it.
I understand that.
The concept of husband and wife, for instance, exists only on Earth. I can achieve a sort of intellectual understanding of what that means, never an emotional one.
Dr. Tolan, I've consulted the Institute in preparing a menu, and I trust you'll find nothing in it that will upset you. Drake? Drake, is that you?
Yeah.
I'm in the living room, dear.
I suppose he's all delivered, complete.
Drake, this is Dr. Hark Tolan of Hawkins Planet. Dr. Tolan, my husband.
Good evening, Dr. Tolan.
Mr. Smollett?
Would you care for a drink?
I'm not particularly thirsty.
On Earth, there is a custom of drinking liquids which have been fortified with ethyl alcohol. We find it stimulating.
Oh, yes. I'm afraid, then, that I must decline. Ethyl alcohol would interfere most unpleasantly with my metabolism.
Well, so it does to Earthmen, too. But I understand, Dr. Tolan. Would you object to my drinking?
Of course not.
Good. I need one. A stiff one.
He stood at the table. I tried not to look at him as he ate. His wide, lipless mouth split his face alarmingly as he ingested food, and in chewing, his large jaws moved from side to side. There was evidence of his ungulate ancestry. I found myself wondering whether he would chew his cud later, and then I was afraid that Drake would get the same idea and leave the table in disgust, but he was taking everything quite calmly.
I imagine, Dr. Tolan, that the cylinder at your side holds cyanide.
Quite so.
Pure cyanide?
I hope you are not considering possible danger. I know the gas is highly poisonous to you, and I do not need a great deal. None of it emerges, except when I actually suck at the tube, which is fixed at the corner of my mouth.
I see. And you really must have the gas to live?
Are you not a biologist, Mr. Smollett?
No, Dr. Tolan. It's merely a minor government official. My wife's friends call me a policeman. Tell me, what happens if you don't breathe cyanide? Do you, just go like that?
Oh, not quite. The absence of it would be equivalent to slow strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
It's also very painful, difficult to treat. I've done some research on the problem.
I find it difficult to keep thinking of you as a doctor.
I understand what you mean. I find it difficult to think of you as a policeman.
I gather that you're not here on a pleasure trip. Huh?
No. I intend to study this queer planet you call Earth.
Queer? In what way?
It's always amazing to me to find how little you Earthmen understand your own characteristics. There are 5 intelligent races in the galaxy. Over and over, it is you Earthmen, more than any of the others, who are unique. Your people are the only ones which find hydrogen cyanide poisonous. Yours is the only form of intelligent life which is carnivorous. Yours is the only form of life which has not developed from the grazing animal. And most interesting of all, yours is the only form of intelligent life known which stops growing upon reaching maturity.
Well, you don't look very large, Dr. Tolan. I should say that you're an inch taller than I, which would make you 6'2". Are you young, or are you just small on Hawkins Planet?
Neither. We grow at a diminishing rate with the years, so that at my age it would take 15 years to grow an additional inch. But we never entirely stop. And, of course, as a consequence, we never entirely die.
Did you hear that, Rose?
I never knew that before.
You mean people on Hawkins Planet are immortal?
No people are truly immortal. Few of us live more than several centuries of your time. Still, it is unpleasant to think that death may come involuntarily. It is something which to us is extremely horrible.
Oh, we're quite used to it.
You Earthmen live with the thought. We do not. This is why we are disturbed to find that the incidence of inhibition death has been increasing in recent years.
What is this inhibition death?
A pathological cessation of growth. It's a wasting disease. A tragic one. And absolutely incurable. It's fatal within a year.
What causes it?
Mr. Smollett, we know nothing about the cause of the disease.
Well, then why did you come to Earth to study it?
Because, again, Earthmen are unique. They are the only intelligent beings who are immune. The inhibition death affects all other races, while Earthmen are immune. Somewhere in the biochemistry of the Earthite, there is the secret of that immunity. How interesting it would be to find it.
Well, now, look here. You can't say that Earthmen are immune. From where I sit, it looks as if the incidence is 100%. All Earthmen stop growing, and all Earthmen die. We've all got the inhibition death.
Earthmen live up to 70 years after the cessation of growth. That is not death as we know it. Your equivalent disease is rather one of unrestrained growth. Cancer, you call it.
Drake was being pleasant to Dr. Tolan. I wasn't sure whether it was for my sake or for his own. Drake has never gone out of his way to please me. Sometimes when I'm gloomy, I look at him across the table and ask myself, why did he marry me? Then suddenly, after dinner in the living room, Dr. Tolan asked a question which surprised me.
You are a policeman, Mr. Smollett?
Yes.
I wonder, could you show me through one of the police departments on your planet?
Well, I don't belong to a police department in exactly the way you imagine. However, I have some contacts in the New York City Department.
Would I be able to visit the Missing Persons Bureau?
Why are you interested in Missing Persons Bureau?
Because there again, you are unique. There's no such thing as a missing person on our planet. We're always aware of each other's exact location, no matter where on the planet we might be.
Can you feel such awareness even now, on Earth?
You mean across space? No, I'm afraid not. But you see the importance of the matter. All the uniqueness of Earth should be linked. If the lack of this sense can be explained, perhaps the immunity to inhibition death can be also. Tell me truthfully, Mr. Smollett, if Mrs. Smollett were to leave this room and enter another without your having seen her do so, would you really not be aware of her location?
I really would not.
Amazing. Please do not be offended by the fact that I find it revolting as well.
Drake.
Yes, I'm awake.
Why were you talking about the inhibition death to Dr. Tolan?
I'm taking an interest in your work, Rose. You've always wanted me to take an interest.
I'd rather you weren't sarcastic.
Rose, I'm tired. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, right now.
I want no questions from you and no interference. You do your job and I'll do mine.
The nature of my job is open and known.
The nature of my job isn't, by definition, but I'll tell you this. Our six-legged friend is here in this house for some definite reason. You weren't picked as biologist in charge for any random reason. 2 days ago, he'd been inquiring about me at the commission. But that's my job, and I won't discuss it with you any further. Do you understand?
No. But I won't question you if you don't want me to.
All right, and go to sleep.
I lay stiffly on my back, and the minutes passed and the quarter hours. I was trying to fit the pieces together. One picture remained clear in my mind. It hovered over me mockingly. At the end of the evening, the Hawkinsite had turned to me just before he left the room.
Good night, Mrs. Smollett. You're a most charming hostess.
I wanted to giggle then. How could he call me a charming hostess? To him, I must have been a horror, a monstrosity with too few limbs and too narrow a face. But then I saw Drake. He turned white. For one instant, his eyes had burned with something that looked like terror. I'd never before known Drake to show fear of anything, and the picture of that instant of pure panic remained with me, until all my thoughts finally sagged into the oblivion of sleep. I remember one question that nagged at me through the haze. Why did he marry me?
I found your Missing Persons Bureau interesting in that the large majority of missing persons are males.
Oh, well, that's not mysterious, Dr. Tolan. You simply didn't realize the economic setup we have on Earth.
My wife is an example of the minority of women who are capable of making their own way in the world.
Would you call the Missing Persons Bureau of New York a fair sampling of such cases in the planet at large?
Yes, I should think so.
Is there then an economic explanation for the fact that since interstellar travel has been developed, the percentage of young males among the missing is more pronounced than ever?
Well, that's even less of a mystery than the other. Nowadays, a runaway can hop the nearest space freighter. They're always looking for crewmen. No questions asked.
It's almost always young men in their first year of marriage.
Well, that's just the time a man's troubles seem the greatest. If he survives the first year, there's usually no need to disappear at all.
Would it offend you if I disconnected for a period of time?
Disconnected?
It's like sleep. Oh. I hope you haven't had too exhausting a day.
It's just that I've been absorbing so many new and unusual concepts that I feel a desire for a little disconnection.
Drake, we've been sitting here for 10 minutes. Aren't you going to speak to me?
About what?
Last night you said you'd speak to me tomorrow. Well, I'm ready now.
I thought it was agreed that you wouldn't question me about my business in this matter.
I think it's too late for that. I know too much about your business by now.
What? What do you mean?
Drake, let go of my arm.
What are you talking about?
Dr. Tolan thinks that Earth is spreading the inhibition death purposely. That's it, isn't it?
Where did you get that idea?
It's true, isn't it?
I want to know exactly why you say that. Don't play games with me, Rose. This is for keeps.
Why don't you ask Dr. Tolan? He's an outstanding worker in the field. I looked over his papers this afternoon.
And what are his theories about the origin of the disease? Try to remember, Rose.
I think he blames Earth, but I think he admits they know nothing about how the disease is spread.
I'll find out about this right now.
Drake, what are you going to do? What's that?
It's my gun. I'm going to ask him a few questions.
He ran out of the bedroom, down the corridor towards Dr. Tolan's room. I ran after him, caught him just as he entered the door. The Hawkinsite was standing there, motionless, his eyes unfocused, his 4 standing limbs sprawled out in 4 directions as far as they would go.
Now keep quiet. He'll gradually become aware of me. Get out of here.
No, Drake. What are you doing?
Quiet. There, you see? The skin on his face is beginning to quiver. Well, that's about all, Dr. Tolan. Don't throw in connection with any of the limbs. Your sense organs and the voice box will be quite enough.
Why do you invade my disconnection chamber? And why are you armed? What do you want?
The answer to certain questions.
With a gun in your hand? I'm sorry, Mr. Smollett, that the duties toward a guest are so badly understood on Earth.
You're no guest of mine, Dr. Tolan. You entered my home under false pretenses.
You had better shoot. It will save time.
You are convinced that you'll answer no questions? Now, that in itself is suspicious. It seems that you consider certain answers to be more important than your life.
I consider the principle of courtesy to be very important. You, as an Earthman, may not understand.
Perhaps not. But I can understand one thing. Your cyanide cylinder. Suppose I pull it out of your mouth. Rose, hold your breath until I close the valve. There. All right, Tolan. You realize what will happen to you if you don't answer the questions I'm going to ask you. Cyanide lack. It would be a most uncomfortable death. I'm only an Earthman. I can't appreciate its true horrors, but you can, can't you?
Drake, give him the cylinder. Give it back to him.
You have about 1 hour, I think, until the effects are irreversible. Talk quickly, Dr. Tolan. You'll have your cyanide cylinder back.
What are your questions?
What are your theories concerning the inhibition death? Why did you really come to Earth? What is your interest in the Missing Persons Bureau?
For years, I have been investigating the cell structure of my patients suffering from inhibition death. I've been forced to use the utmost secrecy, since the methods I used were frowned on by my people. Your society would have similar feelings against human vivisection, for instance. For this reason, I could not present the results I obtained to my fellow physicians until I had verified my theories here on Earth.
And what are they?
The inhibition death is entirely a disease of the mind.
You mean it's psychosomatic?
No, Miss Smollett, it is not psychosomatic. It is a true disease of the mind, a mental infection. My patients had double minds. Beyond and beneath the one that obviously belonged to them, there was evidence of another one, an alien mind. In short, there are not only 5 intelligences in the galaxy, but 6. And the 6th is parasitic.
This is impossible. You must be mistaken, Dr.
No,
Turner.
I'm not mistaken. One can imagine such a parasite through the course of millions of years, perhaps losing all portions of its physical being. It will become nothing but pure mind, living in some mental fashion we cannot conceive of on the minds of others, particularly on the minds of Earthmen.
Why particularly Earthmen?
Have you not surmised that the 6th intelligence is a native of Earth? Mankind from the beginning has lived with it, has adapted to it, is unconscious of it. It is why the higher species of terrestrial animals, including man, do not grow after maturity and eventually die. And it is what is called natural death. It is the result of this universal parasitic infestation. Where Earthmen could survive the infection for decades with little harm, we others die a quick death within a year. Give me back my cylinder. You have your answer.
What about the Missing Persons Bureau?
Drake, look at his eyes. Give it back to him.
As we are not well adapted to the intelligence that infests man, neither is it well adapted to us. It can live on us, but it cannot reproduce, with ourselves alone as the source of its life. The inhibition death is therefore not directly contagious among our people.
What are you implying, Dr. Tolan?
The Earthman remains the prime host for the parasite, and an Earthman may infect one of us if he remains among us. But the parasite, once it is located in an intelligence of the outer worlds, must somehow return to an Earthman if it expects to reproduce. We are infected and reinfected as the parasites return to Earth and come back to us via the mind of Earthmen who travel through space.
And the missing persons?
Are the intermediate hosts. The masculine terrestrial mind seems better suited for their purpose. But once reproduction has been taken care of, the infested male leaves by spaceship for the outer worlds. He disappears.
But this is impossible. What you say implies that the parasite mind can control the actions of its host. That can't be, or we would have noticed their presence here on Earth.
The control may be very subtle. It may, moreover, be exerted only during the period of active reproduction. I simply point to your Missing Persons Bureau. Why do the young men disappear? I'm quite ill now, cyanide lack, and I cannot speak much longer.
And you alone of all your people have any knowledge of this theory of yours?
I alone. You will give me back my cyanide cylinder now. I have become quite weak.
Sure. Sure, Dr. Tolan. Rose.
No!
Rose, come out of here. Come on now. Come on.
He's dead. He's dead. You shot
Outside.
him.
Out. Quiet, Rose. Quiet. I told you to have nothing to do with this.
Let me go. I want to go. I want to go.
Why? Because of something it was my job to do? You heard what that creature was saying? You suppose I could allow him to return to his world and spread those lies? They'd believe him. What do you think would happen then? They would have to kill us all to stop that disease.
What he said wasn't a lie. It was true.
Oh, come on. Now you're hysterical. You need sleep.
I know what he said was true because the Security Commission knows all about the same theory and knows it's true.
Why do you say a thing like that?
Because you let it slip yourself.
Now sit down. Sit down. Well, so I gave myself away, did I? When?
You turned white when Hark Tolan referred to me as a charming hostess. Hostess has a double meaning, Drake. A host is one who harbors a parasite.
Well, I had no idea I was so transparent. Look, Rose, I've done my best to keep you out of this.
The truth can't be held down forever. Somebody else will find out. You can't kill them all.
We know that, too. We have no choice.
Why? Why can't we combine with the other intelligences and wipe out the parasite?
No, you don't understand. Hark Tolan was right. Man and his prehistoric ancestors have been living with this parasitic intelligence for uncounted ages. We've not only become adapted to it, we've become dependent on it. It is no longer a case of parasitism. It's a case of mutual cooperation. You biologists have a name for it.
What are you talking about? Symbiosis?
Yes, exactly. We have a disease of our own, remember? It is a reverse disease, one of unrestrained growth. We've mentioned it already as a contrast to inhibition death. It's all very well to say that if we could remove the parasite, we would have eternal growth in life. But it's impossible for us. If for any reason the parasitic intelligence, as Hark Tolan calls it, does leave the human body, or if its relationship to the human mind is in any way impaired, growth does take place, but not in an orderly fashion. We call the growth cancer, and there you have it. There's no way of getting rid of the parasite. We're together for all eternity. To get rid of their inhibition death, extraterrestrials must first wipe out all vertebrate life on Earth. There is no other solution for them. So we must keep knowledge of it from them. Now do you understand?
He got the body out of the apartment. I sat there numbly. He lied to me. Cancer could not be a disease that was an expression of lost ability for normal growth. Cancer attacked children while they were still growing. It could even attack embryonic tissue. Cancer had nothing to do with the presence or absence of normal growth. Its absence would not cause cancer. Drake lied, but no one would believe me. The young men who disappeared were usually in the first year of their marriage. Whatever the process of reproduction of the parasite intelligence was, it must involve close association with another parasite. The type of close and continuous association, as in the case of newly married couples. The parasite could control actions. I'd report them both, Drake Smollett and Hark Tolan, to the Missing Persons Bureau. But they'd never find them, for they'd be out in space. I wanted to weep, but I couldn't. I was dry-eyed, and it was painful. I'd looked for the answers to so many questions, and I'd found them all. I even found the answer to the question I thought had no bearing on the subject. I finally learned why Drake had married me.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
Oh, crap, that's my cue. Good morning, weirdos. I'm eating cereal bar. How are we today? Boy, I had a pretty good evening on the computer. Put together about a dozen or more radio shows, some Dimension X and some Dragnet. Yeah, I'm in the D's. I'm just kind of pushing through my old-time radio show files, creating videos for the rest of this month and next month. By the end of before Thanksgiving, I would like to have all of this month finished and all of next month uploaded, period, except for the holidays and whatever live stuff I'm going to be doing. But I want to get it on there. I want to get it on, you know? Get it over with. And there we have it. Yeah, baby. Fight tonight. Anybody gonna watch the fight tonight? Oh, baby, that's good stuff. Yeah. Well, I am gonna watch the fight tonight. I don't feel like it's the event of the century, but it's quite the event. Mike Tyson coming out of retirement for an exhibition fight with a YouTuber. That sounds interesting, yes? I don't know. It all sounds kind of weird to me. Well, who was asking you? Well, you just asked. Shut the fuck up. Ah, man. I like me coffee hot. Hot, hot, hot. And I like me bong, it's smoky. Yeah, I like 'em smoky. Hello? Might I have a bit more, sir? Arr. Arr. I'm going to have to start writing down what movies and TV shows I watch. Because if it's just like a one-off, I'm going to watch an episode of this, or I'm going to watch this movie. The next day, I don't remember. I don't remember what it was that I watched. Little flashes of the movie pop through my head. Pardon me. But not enough to hold on to. I need to keep a log. Wow. I got the burps. They just come out of nowhere, man. And then I'm going to get the sneezes. Yeah. It ain't going to happen. Sneeze doesn't want to work for me. It's just gonna make my face go bluggy, 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 bluggy. So, oh wow. I just had a flashback to Temecula 1980. Whoa. 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 Yeah, 1980. We lived in Temecula. We had been there from I want to say the summer of 78 through 79 through 80. And then we left the summer of 81, so that 81, is that the way it works? I know that I did work in the 6th grade that had to do with Carter and Reagan elections. So I know I was in Temecula School in 1980 in the fall. 81? We spent that whole school year there. We left at the end of that school year. Spent a summer in a van. And then got a bus. So that means I would have gotten to Murietta Junior High in 81. And then in 82, in the spring, we would have moved to Lake Elsinore. There you go. That's it. And then I ditched the last 6 weeks of 7th grade because I didn't want to be at a new school. I didn't want to be me. I didn't want to do any of it. And I just left. I'll drink to that, and I'll smoke to that. Totally. Wow. Well, more people got shirts yesterday. Gary got his shirts. I imagine that Kelly, Tony, Andrew, I was going to say Andy, and there would be 3 E's. Kelly, Tony, Andy. But Andy goes by Andrew now, as I go by Michael, since I have gone by Michael since the 90s. Not many people listen to me when I say, it's Michael. Okay, Mike. Somebody was helping me at a store, restaurant, and they say, okay, thank you, Mike. And I said, that's Michael. I said, okay, thank you too, and that's Michael. And they said, oh, like, how could you read my name, Michael, and then call me Mike? I don't get it. You know, if your name is James, I'm not going to call you Jim. If your name is Charles, I'm not going to call you Chuck, right? If your name is Robert, I'm not going to call you Bobby, okay? So why would you call me Mike? It's your own inability to use your fucking head. It says Michael right there. How the fuck do you get Mike, right? Don't get me started. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're ticking. We are ticking. I have to check the calendar. But I don't know if Monday is supposed to be my dentist appointment. If I don't get any news about insurance today I am calling and postponing my frickin' dental appointment again. I told my wife, look, let's shop around, find out where I can get dentures made for a reasonable price in a reasonable amount of time, and order the kit. Let's get that kit in the house. And then I will start with the dental procedure so that regardless of what happens with my insurance, I know that I can put that thing in my mouth, send it in, and have teeth made and sent back to me, right? So that's the plan, Stan. I think over the weekend, we're going to do that. We're going to find it and order it. Mainly because if my insurance is happening and I have my appointment Monday, this will be the last show for a few months, at least. And I need to get the dental kit ordered right away. Especially if I'm going in Monday, it needs to be here within a couple of weeks, because in a couple of weeks, my mouth will be healed enough to put that thing in there and get a cast made of my mouth. There you go. So I'm not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to it. It's something that needs to happen. I'm not in any pain. And if I was, I wouldn't even know it. I got a high pain threshold, so it's got to be pretty bad for me to be concerned with it. If it's pain, it's got to be some pretty bad pain. It's got to overpower the pain that I'm in now, and in order to do that, it's got to be some pretty bad, horrible fucking pain. I don't want that, but at this point, most pains just don't fucking bother me. I'm more bothered by mental and emotional pain than actual physical pain. Because that's the thing, the mental and emotional pain, that's the thing that you can't really get away from. Pain, other pain can heal. You can get used to physical pain, right, to an extent. Especially if it's slow coming, right? But that mental and emotional pain, sometimes there's just no getting away from it. You can't get away from it. You can't escape your own head, right? So, yeah. Yeah. Well, as I load a bong hit. Sorry, that's my Tommy gun. I'm sorry, Thomas gun. I don't even know the guy. I'm not going to call him Tommy. Bum. That's what we call a running gag, folks. Yeah. Not that any of you would know that, because there's nobody there. There's nobody there. That's all right. That's all right, Mama. That's all right with you. That's all right, Mama. Just any way you do it, that's all right. Yeah. I don't do much singing anymore. I don't want to be a singer when I lose all my teeth, because I won't be singing then. So I'm taking a break from singing so that when I get my new teeth, I can come back a new singer. That's the plan, Stan. In the interim, I am going to try to cut out a lot of bad stuff in my diet. Sugar, caffeine, archipelago juice. Yeah. No more Worcestershire sauce. And I'm going to start taking more things in my diet that I don't normally do on a regular basis. Not necessarily vitamins, but beneficial foods, antioxidants and that kind of stuff, just to kind of help clean me up a little bit. Oh, and I need to slow down on the marijuana. That doesn't mean switch to gummies. It just means trying to have times in the day when I'm not smoking, right? Morning, I've tried to not smoke in the morning, but when I do that, the pain gets out of control so that by the evening, I can't control it with medication. But I do recognize that if I smoke in the morning and deal with my pain, by the afternoon, I don't need it so much. I need a nap, but I don't need it so much. And then by the evening, I don't really need it at all because I've done my pain management for the day. So, I'd like to go full days without smoking, but my pain load says that's a hard that's a hard rope to climb. Thinking about the reunion, there will be a few elders. Our group reaches into the 60s. All right. Our group of friends is pretty much late 40s to early 60s, okay? Now that being said, there are some elders in our group who are parents of these people, so they're pretty dang old. They're in their 70s and 80s. So I'm hoping we're going to get some elder statespersons there from the old days. There are some who live really close to Lake Elsinore and in Lake Elsinore, so we're definitely gonna see them and have them around. That's pretty cool. I'm not doing any work on shirts right now. I'm waiting for everyone else to get their shirts and to consider gathering some donations. I might put together some kind of advertisement for the group and the event, hoping that I can get kind of people channeled to people who can do donations, right? That would be nice. I'm going to warm up my coffee, and I am going to warm me up as well. I'm going to plug the heater in. I'm just a little bit chilled here, so I'm going to try to fix that. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right here. I'm still here. Oh, don't go nowhere. Pushing the wrong bloody buttons, yeah. Bloody hell. Hurry now. All right. I had milk and cookies last night. Polished off a box of Nutter Butters. I didn't eat the whole thing in one night. It took me, I don't know, the week to eat a pack of Nutter Butters. I have about, I don't know, I think 4 or 5 with a little cup of milk, and I like to dunk. But those Nutter Butters, they're peanut butter. They're great. Great cracker cookies and great peanut butter, but they're loaded with sugar. Horrible stuff. So one thing that we're going to have to do when I cut out sugar is not necessarily switch to, and definitely not switch to sugar substitutes. I'm not going to do stevia. I'm not going to do anything that resembles a sugar substitute. I'm just going to switch to honey, right? I'll try to cut out sugary drinks by making fresh lemonade and just adding honey and a little bit of salt, but just add honey to sweeten it. And tea, same thing, lemon and honey. And I try to avoid the tea as much as possible because that's the whole caffeine thing. I've got decaffeinated teas, which is great. But I really need to reprogram my brain. And this insomnia is just, between the insomnia and the pain, my sleep is so fucked up, right? And I need to try to get it straightened out, and I think that getting rid of the caffeine and the sugar is really going to help that. Besides, sugar is cancer food, so we don't want to take in anything that's going to help the bad guys in the body, right? So, yeah. That and trying to cut out processed foods, because that is going to lead down the same road, right? Sugars and additives and that kind of crap, preservatives. And that's what I'm trying to avoid is all of that crap. Okay, I think Big Dog is ready to come out. I think I heard her little toes tapping by the door. Good morning, Ollie. Little Oliver guy. Good morning, little boy. How are you? I don't want to get white hairs all over my Judas Priest shirt. Thank you very much. She's drinking a lot of water. Yeah, you'll have to wait. She's like a camel. Cheers. Well, I left the door open for Ollie, so he'll probably go outside. It's early, but I'm sure he'll find something to bark at. The friggin' moon or something. I better write down insurance here so I can get everything taken care of. And there we go. Okay, now you can do anything through order anything online, order anything through Amazon. You can order a house or a car, even dentures through Amazon. So I'm going to be searching out the best teeth for the best price. I mean, I'm not going to go out and spend $1 million on a fucking grill, but I definitely do want to get some decent teeth, and I want them to be comfortable, and I want them to be usable, and I don't want to get, put crap in my mouth. Need to find out, all of the particulars about dentures, and then find out what dentures they're going to be getting for me, and then find out if those are the dentures I'm going to want in the long run, find out what the different composites of material are used to make the different styles of dentures, find out the best it's going to be for me, yada yada yada, do all of the research, find the kit, find the right company, and then somebody that's got a good reputation, something that I know is going to be comfortable, right? I mean, I don't really have any choice, so I'm just trying to just do it, right? But do it right. I want to go from no teeth to dentures as quick as possible and as comfortably as possible, with removing myself as little from the world as possible, right? For a short a period of time. You know, I figure it's going to take at least 2 weeks, probably about, because I heal pretty quick, about 2 weeks to heal enough to to do the thing and send it in. And then it's however long it takes after that to get them back. So that's going to be my time frame kind of thing. I'm hoping 6 weeks on the outside, and that's 2 weeks of healing, and then a month of my teeth being made. And I'm hoping that's going to do it. Because any longer than that, and I'm afraid that my health is really going to suffer. Right? I can still have milk and cookies. I can still have most of the foods that I like, just softened or cooked differently. It's not going to be much fun. Texture is important when you're eating. And speaking and singing and doing the morning show and all of the other things that I want to do. I can't do any of that shit without teeth. So there you go. I mean, yes, I could, but I'm just not that kind of person. I guess I'm too vain. But you'll probably never see me without my teeth. You know, that being said, I said that I would wear a mask forever going out in public. And that ended quick. The beard, it's the beard. If I didn't have to wear a beard, I probably would wear a mask out in public all the time. But then again, my beard is my mask. So this thing that hangs down in front of my lips there, that's my filter. It's great for when you're drinking out of a stream, you know. That mustache just filters all the twigs and stuff out, the bugs. Well, doggy. Yeah, the dogs are all busy this morning. Let's see, Oliver came out, looked around, went outside, went pee-pee, came back in, got a drink of water, got back into bed with Mom. Sam went outside, came back in, went into bed with Natalie. Tootsie came out of bed with Natalie and got a drink of water and just went outside. I'm sure she's going to be back in a minute and want to go back into bed with Natalie, because that's her job. Natalie is her human. So I'm just kind of waiting. Waiting. Yeah, at this point, I just want to get beyond the whole teeth thing and move forward. And there's a whole host of other issues wrong with me physically, and I don't even want to get into it. I know that once I get into some of those issues, it's going to be a matter of This is the end. My only friend, the end. All right, let me put her in. Okay. Well, the sun's not even up, and the dogs are all dealt with. Oh, no wedgie. So that's cool. Let's see, we've got a house to clean today. It's a turnover, but it's only one house, so we'll probably just... the two of us. It's just the two of us. We'll probably just go and knock it out, get it over with, come back. Take us about an hour, the two of us. It's a house where we use the garage for storage. So I just brought the bed frame back from over there. So we might take my car so that we could move some more stuff around. But then again, maybe not. Hey, good morning, Joey. What's going on, brother? Listening to the dog drink water. That big dog. Come on, baby, get in here. Yeah, it's Friday. You gonna watch the Paul Tyson fight tonight? The Tyson Paul fight? The totally weirdness. I'm gonna watch it because I got Netflix, so it's already paid for. But I'm anxious to see what someone my age is going to do in the ring up against someone your age. Uh-huh. Thereabouts, right? I mean, because while someone your age could probably take out someone my age relatively easily, you'd have to consider the wisdom factor, and a young guy might get his face eaten off just like that, without even knowing it, because they're just, you know, young and inexperienced. And I think that's what's going to happen is this guy's going to get his face eaten off. And the thing is that Tyson has a record of eating people's body parts, so yeah, it could be really, really weird. It could be really, really weird. So I'm excited about watching it just because it's first of all, it's entertainment, and it's probably nothing more than entertainment. Second of all, if it is in fact an actual exhibition fight, and they are going to get serious, the whole age thing, the whole inexperienced new fighter thing. The guy's only been doing this crap for 4 years, right? Playing around with the Dukes. Tyson's been out of boxing almost as long as this guy's been alive, right? So it should be pretty weird. It should be pretty weird. Comes on at 5 Pacific, so that's what, 8 o'clock on the East Coast there. So yeah, this should be pretty weird. I've got a video time machine premiering at 5 o'clock, and it's a doozy. It's a great one. I had so much fun putting that one together. I can't wait to put the next one together, and I can't wait to put Thanksgiving video time machine together. That's going to be even mo fun, mo funna. It's gonna be mo funna. Yeah. I like to watch a good fight, boxing match, or a good MMA fight. Every once in a while I can watch a bare knuckle fight. I think it was the bare knuckle fighter guy that Jake Paul fought when Tyson got sick and couldn't fight the first time. And I'm just now finding out about all of this. I didn't even know there was going to be a first fight. And I guess that bare knuckle fighter, he put him on his ass. But there's supposed to be a couple of girls on the same card fighting a rematch. And that should be interesting. An Irish girl and a New Jersey girl, I think. So that should be interesting. I like to watch broads duke it out. I'm an old school guy. I like to see them dames duking it. You know? See them tomatoes getting squashed. Oh, baby. No, I like to see a good... I like to see a good fight. You know, I'm not one for fighting myself, but I figure, hey, if these idiots are going to get in the ring and beat the fuck out of each other, who am I to not watch, right? I'll watch it. Fuck it. I'll fucking watch it. But I haven't seen Tyson fight since the 90s, really. I don't know when the last time he fought. I saw a documentary on, the 3-part documentary on Netflix. And they didn't talk too much about his fighting career, fight for fight. They didn't talk about the end of his career. They didn't talk about his time in prison. They didn't talk about his conviction for, I think it was rape. They didn't talk about anything substantial. You know, it was a lot of fluff. It was a lot of them, of Paul talking shit and Mike Tyson being really, really nice and humble, which is way different. But letting the people know that, yeah, he's probably going to have to kill this guy. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to kill this guy. He's going to have to die. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? You drink enough water? Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm still on dog duty. Yeah, it's cold. It's high desert cold. It gets warm during the day. In the winter out here, it gets warm during the day. Not hot, but warm. And then at night, it gets so fucking cold. You don't want to be homeless out here in anything other than the summer sucks too. But the winter out here, it gets so fucking cold. Oh, where are you going for your vacation? Barbados? Pago Pago? I'm going to Laos and Cambodia. I'm going to go shrimp farming with the Vietnamese. Well, do tell. I can't wait. I'm anxious now to understand where you're going and why. You're going to go to New York, go to Broadway and see Phantom of the Opera. Is that even on Broadway anymore? Let's see. You're going to hike the Appalachian Trail. You're going to drive Route 66 and stay in nothing but those funny shaped buildings. You're going to stay in one that's shaped like a boot, one that's shaped like a teepee. You can stay in one that's shaped like a golf ball on top of a golf tee. There's a cool little place to stay. What other weird places can you stay in? On a road trip to Florida. Oh, down I-95, right? A friend of mine who was in the Navy, him and some musician friends in the Navy were on an aircraft carrier, and would pass around a little digital recorder, and the little, or well, not a digital recorder, an early style type tape recorder. And they would, you've already been to Broadway, of course. They would pass this recorder around from guy to guy on the ship, and each guy would put his stuff on. One guy had a drum machine, and then my friend had a guitar, the other guy could sing, another guy had a bass, and they would just pass it around, and they made an entire tape out at sea. And when he came back, he had this really beautiful Kramer, hot pink Kramer guitar, and he played us this tape and played along with it, man. It was fucking classic. It was classic, dude. It was totally classic. So, you're going down to see your best friend in Florida. Jeez. Is he an octogenarian, an old guy? Because you got weird. I'm thinking that, geez, Jacob there, he could be your age, or he could be 50 years old. You just hang out with anybody, right? It don't matter how old they are. That's totally cute. Your best friend could be your grandpa, your great-grandpa. Who knows? I never got to know my grandparents really well. Not really well at all. They did not get along with my father or my mother or our family. So, yeah, grandparents from both sides of the family. I didn't really get to know too well. He's 27. 27. That's a couple of years older. What, Jake's a little younger. See, there you go. That's like I was talking about with my group of friends. Goes like from we're all right now in the late 40s to early 60s. So we hit a wide range of areas, because it's not just a couple of guys from the same grade, right? It's like we had friends in lower grades and in higher grades, and then we had older brothers and sisters, and then we had their friends and their older brothers and sisters' friends. And so, you know, we would be out of high school, and we would have friends that were in junior high, because they were related to people that we knew in high school or out of high school. So yeah. And then right on into the parents of those people being kind of a part of our group, our clique, our clan. Yeah. Yeah. Right. See? There you go. My best friend was a year younger. Is a year younger. Well, you know, best friend is kind of a subjective term, I figured out. Because while you may consider someone your best friend, as you get older, they start turning to other people and consider other people their best friends. So it doesn't really... so I don't really have any best friends anymore. I did when I was young. But even my friends from back then, they're not really friends anymore, because there's so much time and distance between us that we're more like acquaintances now that share a past, right? We share a past, and that's it. And it's kind of weird. So I'm hoping to kind of reconnect with a lot of these people through this reunion thing and the pre-reunion thing. Yeah. Age. I believe my daughter's little group, they're all about the same age, within a year of each other. They're all about the same age. Yeah, and her and 3 friends are going out to see My Chemical Romance, and it is in July is when it is. That's far away. Wow.
so smart. Let's see. No wedgie. So, see, all your friends are your best friends. See, now that's a good way to treat your friends. You know, I was always bad about friendship maintenance, mainly because of my depression. I'm not making any excuses, but my depression didn't allow me to stay in constant contact with friends for more than a 3 or 4 month period at a time. And then I would literally, as a kid, a teenager, I would have to just withdraw from everybody, all of my friends, family, society, everybody. And that's usually when I was either living at home or living on my own somewhere, being homeless, just so that I didn't have to be around people. And that was kind of a bummer, you know, because I lost a lot of friends because I didn't have contact with them, you know. And I'd pop up once in a while and be like, dude, where you been? You know. And how do you explain to everybody that who people who don't understand about depression, especially at an early age like we were, especially back then when most stuff was misdiagnosed anyway, how do you explain to them why you're just gone, right? You can't. You can't. You can try, but they don't understand it. You don't even understand it. How are you going to explain it to anyone else, right? Yeah. So I just lost contact. Not that I lost friends. I just lost contact with them. Tell her to buy me, a sweater. You already messed up the one you bought at the festival? Really? Why? How did you mess that up? How could you possibly mess up a sweater? What'd you do, wear it at work? You're not supposed to wear it at work, doofus. Yeah, she'll get you one. Hell yeah, she'll get you one. She's the coolest, awesomest friend in the world. Her and my wife are like the best people in the world to know. If they are your friend, you don't need any other friends. And you realize that the people you thought were your friends weren't really your friends. These are real friends. No, I'm just screwing around. But yeah, I'll let her know. And I'm sure it's not until July, but I'm sure that she will. Summertime. She should be on summer break then. So her and her 3 friends are going to be driving out to LA, and they're going to get a room for a couple of nights. I would think a couple of nights, and go to a really nice concert, hang out. And since my daughter is like the best navigator, she's not a co-pilot because she doesn't drive. Yeah, I knew it got torn at work, but she's a hell of a navigator, right? Anything you need to know, anything. She's a good co-pilot in the sense that if you're driving, she's taking care of everything else in the car, right? So that's cool. So I know they're going to have a blast. Her friend goes out there all the time with her family, so she knows where to stay and what to do out there and where to eat. So they got it made. They're gonna frickin' just have a ball. I can't wait for them. You know, that's gonna be so much fun for them. Gosh. Yeah, it's neat to finally get to see your kid go out and do fun adult stuff. She's devoted so much of her time to school and to her education that she hasn't had a chance to go out and do stuff on her own, you know. And the more and more that she goes out with her friend twice a week to go to campus, you know, goes out a few times a month to go with friends to go out and do stuff. That means a lot to me. I'm sure it means a lot to her, but it means so much more to me knowing that that she can go out into the world and handle it. She can handle the world better than I can at this point because I've got my own freaked out freaking frustrations to deal with when I go out into the world. I just want to eat people's faces when I go out into the world. You know, I just want to bash heads, snap spines, that kind of shit, crack people upside the head. That's horrible. Hey, what's up, Jake the Snake? What are you doing, man? What's going down? Heard you guys are going on a road trip. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I got a friend down in Florida. She was over here, and she was living up north, and then she moved. She came down through from like Washington down through California and stayed with my brother, and then stopped off and visited some friends in the coast and got sick, had to stay there a couple extra nights, and then she came out here. She stayed a night out at one of these vacation rentals here, and then she drove all the way out to Florida in a U-Haul by herself. She's my age, younger, and she just got her t-shirts. She's one of those reunion family friend people. But yeah, she lives in, I think, Jacksonville, Florida. So that's pretty cool. See? We're all connected. We're all so connected. Oh, I see. Well, see, that's not fair. You guys are at the same house. How am I to know this? We're all in the same house, man. Right? Just like Joey said, man, all your friends are your best friends. I guess that includes me. Well, then I'll consider you a bestie too if that's the case. But yeah, we're all in the same house, man. We're all in the same freaking house, man. Even when we're homeless, especially the homeless are even more in the same house. You know, coming from a guy who's been homeless most of his childhood and early adulthood, and if you consider living in a travel trailer and bumping around like that, that's been, you know, most of my life has been homeless. Yeah, living in anything. If you live on something in something with wheels, I think that you're. Yeah, same earth. We're all earthers. I like that. Earthers. Earthians. Earthites. Earthagenarians. What the hell? Come on, your turn. Oh, Earthitarians. That's too much. Oh, man. I got so much Dimension X and Dragnet going through my head because that's what I did last night for about 4 hours. From just before I got up last night about 6. And I came in and I started some stuff working, and then we did dinner. my wife and I watched a little TV. We hung out together, and while we were doing that, I kept the computer game going, and then I sat out here for a couple of hours and created Dimension X videos and Dragnet videos. So every 15 or 20 minutes I'm hearing dun 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 as I'm queuing things up and making sure that things are lined up over here correctly. And then over here every hour I'm hearing Dimension X X X X X X. And then I have to randomly go through it and listen to portions, copy and paste stuff throughout the whole video. It's a fun process. I'm going to have to pull up one of those X-1 videos so I can show you how weird it is. No, really, really, really weird. Let's see, how can I do that? I'm telling you, I have to keep calming down. First of all, I get excited every morning when I open my eyes and I'm still here in the world, right? That's neat. That's really cool. And then I get real excited because I know I'm going to come out here and do this, and that's fun. I get super pumped up when I start thinking about the reunion, and every day it's like we're a day closer. And what have I done lately? And I get, I start getting worried that we don't have enough time. And I need to have patience with shirts and patience with people and donations and that kind of stuff. At the same time, I need more money to put into more shirts so that it creates more of a buzz, right? But I mean, every day I try to find, even if I don't try to find, something pops up that just makes me super excited about being here. Yesterday I was over here in this room here, and I yanked out the mattress and I uncovered the bed and all the stuff under the bed, and I started pulling things out and going through, and I've got so many 8-tracks under there. I've got a big box just filled, unopened, sealed 8-tracks, 6 cases of 8-tracks. I think they're like 24 each. Just, and then I've got another 5 cases over here. 6, there's another one down below. And they're just everywhere. And I'm thinking, wow, man, I get excited about 8-tracks. I get excited about the piles of junk that I have everywhere. It's like, ooh, I just want to pull all of the junk together that's similar and stack it up and stack it like gold coins, right? Ooh, here's all my 8-tracks. Ooh, let me see. Ooh, gosh, those are neat. I'm a weird guy. But, where's my doobage? There it is. But I finally love being me, with the help of my wife and daughter, and YouTube, and the few friends that I have, Joey, Jakey the Snakey. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I love my life. I love what I do. I love how I do it. I love my job. I love my crappy little shack of a house that's pretty much falling apart around me. It's my perfect little world, as imperfect as it is. It's like perfect for me. If I were to live in a 3-bedroom track home type place with a 2-car garage and a yard and a fence, and that would seem really, really alien to me, right? I'm so comfortable living in squalor because that's where I've been my whole life. I've done that before. I've lived in a nice house and had all of the bills and the new car and all, and it's felt so contrived. Like, this is the way I'm supposed to be, so this is what I am doing, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Um, yeah, I really tried a lot when we first got married to be that perfect guy. You look at all the pictures of me in the first 10 years of marriage, and it don't look like me. It don't feel like me. You look into those eyes, and those eyes are dead. No wonder I was on all kinds of antidepressants and antacids, and was a physical mess, just a mental nightmare, right? Because it was not fun. Conformity, I'm just not able to deal with. And it wasn't until I got injured, actually. It wasn't until I got injured about 10 years into our marriage that things started to change. You know? Then things started to change. And I could have, and I did, fall into a big depression for the first 5-8 years of being injured, poor me. But once I switched back to smoking pot and then went back to school, I spent 2.5 years in school, and then started working for myself after working for various people doing various jobs. I finally realized that the easiest way for me to be comfortable in life is to live my life for me and not the world, not society. And that's where I figured it out, that you know what, if I can earn money this way legally and do that as opposed to working for somebody and making them rich, well, I don't need to earn a lot of money. I just need to earn enough, right? If I work for them, I'm barely going to earn enough, and they're the ones who are going to profit off of my back. So fuck that. And so I did that for several years until I had a car accident. And then finally just decided, you know what? It's easier just to do vacation rentals than to do all of that handyman bullshit. All of the handyman bullshit is great. It's fun. It's creative. It's imaginative. I get my Bob the Builder on, but when it comes down to it, it was taking too much out of me physically. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting too old for this shit. And I just decided, you know what? Why don't we just take on more vacation rentals to clean? And I'll just give up handyman stuff altogether and use those skills to help get us good vacation rental jobs by way of me being able to repair stuff around the houses. And that's the way it worked out. Trying to hear if there's a dog clicking around a door. Let me know if you hear a dog. Oh, crap. Yeah, I think I do hear a dog. Let me go check it out. Check it out. No, all is well. All is well. All is well. So tomorrow night, one of my local friends here is playing a gig down at the Spaghetti Western. I call it the Spag West. I think it sounds kitschy, calling it Spag West. Spaghetti Western. Spag West. Right? Doesn't that sound cool? Doesn't that sound totally California kitschy? Yeah, we're going to go on down to Spag West and have some cocktails, watch some live music. The what? The what? far out, dude. I can totally dig it. Yeah, man. Get down there and have me one of them highballs. Give me a highball. Give me a Tom Collins. I could start ordering 1950s drinks. Rat Pack drinks. That'll fuck with the bartenders. Yep. Give me a set of kamikazes. My friend will have a Tom Collins. Give me a highball. My girlfriend wants a hot toddy. I have got friends who were bartenders, waiters, bartenders, and that kind of stuff. Of course, California. So, one of those main jobs for creative people is to be servers, because you get to deal with people one-on-one, and you kind of get to do that performance thing, right? All waiters in essence are performers, because they are performing for tips. So they're trying to earn people's money, right, by way of kind of entertaining them. So if you see a lot of these waiters, and they got their own little shtick, they got their own jokes and comedy. You can hear them at the next table using the same fucking lines, and that's just what they do to get their bread. And they're performers. So you get a lot of performers, natural performers, who like to do that kind of work, because they get to be with the public. So they like to be servers. But I had a lot of friends back in the 90s who were in the service industry. They weren't servicemen and women. They were like food service, drinks, that kind of stuff. What do they call that? Yeah. Anyways, so in the 90s I spent a lot of time around bars. That's what I was getting at. Bars. Some folks was behind bars in the 90s. I was in front of them, sitting in a stool. If a friend was a bartender, like my friend Andrew, he was a bartender at a few places. And if he was a bartender someplace, I would spend a lot of evenings, because I didn't, I was living alone and I didn't have any significant other in my life. So a lot of times, if I knew he was working, I would just go sit down at the bar, watch TV, smoke cigarettes, go out back, smoke pot, sit inside, and he would just give me a couple of free beers, and I would just sit there and nurse these free beers all night. And if there was music playing, live music, then I was definitely there. And I would just be sitting in my regular stool at the bar. And I still remember that regular stool, right up against a little partition at the end of the bar. There was a little partition, and then it entered into a place where there was a pool table. And I had this little spot at the end of the bar up against that partition, so I could spin around and lean up against it. And then if I turned all the way away from the bar, I would be looking directly at the stage. But it was my little stool there. And he was a fun bartender. He would figure out games to play. He would buy people free drinks. He would take care of people on their birthdays. He was really, Andrew was always very charismatic. Even today, in the position that he's in, El Dorado Arts Council, he's still, working with people. He's still doing that, the service industry, but he's making them laugh. He's making them think. He's entertaining them. I'm sure there's food and drinks along the way somewhere, but he was a great bartender. He was a great, fun bartender. He used to be in charge of hiring the talent. So he would get some great talent. He made a lot of connections, learned how to deal with bands and hiring, and yeah, it was very, very cool. He's probably someone I should hit up for fundraising ideas. Although I did send him a donation kit, and I'm hoping that everybody gets their donation kits and thinks not about me, but about themselves and the other people going to this reunion, whether they go one day or all of the days, spend a whole week there. Because that's my plan. My plan is to spend a whole week in our hometown, spending 3 nights partying with everybody, spending 4 days hanging out with everybody, and spending a few days just soaking it in. You know, I'll get there a few days early and have time to just chill out, and then stay a few days late and have time to just chill out. And hopefully others will stay as well and be there longer. Yeah. If we do camping, there may be a big giant camping area that is populated by a lot of people, and then other people are kind of staying nearby and showing up early in the day and staying around most of the night, you know, and that'll work too, which is probably how it's going to be. There'll probably be a few people staying in the main house. If there's a house, there'll be a lot of people staying in the camping, if it's a combination of both. Yeah. I'm not too concerned about where we're going to do it right now. But I guess when budget gets there, then we'll think about it. Oh man, I am getting all pumped up on stuff again. Yeah. Yeah, good old I-95. Yep. You been to Disney World? I have not. I would love to spend a month at Disney World, mainly because it's on the other side of the country, and if I'm going to go over there, I want to stay, right? I'd rather go over there and stay a month and go to the parks every day, something new every day. Maybe do some camping there at Disney World, stay in a couple of the hotels a night or two, you know, do different stuff, not just one spot. Oh, that's right. You don't like amusement parks. You don't like a lot of people. You've been there once, really young. Don't remember. Yeah, I've been at Disneyland a whole bunch of times because it's a Southern California pastime. You know, just one of those things. Even school students, high school students, you know, they'll rent the park out. A bunch of high schools will get together. They'll rent the park out, or they used to, for the whole day or the evening. So, you know, seniors' night at Disneyland was always a big thing growing up. My daughter's senior class went to Magic Mountain, which is a long drive, but they went with other senior classes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm able to go around a lot of people, and because of depression, I'm able to kind of withdraw from the world and kind of be in my own world, whether I'm with a handful of people or alone, it's easy for me to kind of erase everybody around me. And, you know, I'm only aware of their presence when I bump into people or I hear them or see them or something. And even when that happens, you're just like surrounded by people, noise, people talking, and all these ambient noises and stuff. And it all becomes like white noise, just like... So I can just kind of tune it and create white noise out of it, kind of erase everybody's existence, and they just become a blur around me. So in that respects, I love to go to amusement parks because I'm all alone, or I'm just with the people I'm with, and nothing else is there. Nobody else is there. Nothing else exists. It's just us having our fun, having our day, and the only people we know are the people we come in contact with, and most of those people work at the park, you know, and everybody else is just kind of background, you know. Background actors in my movie, right? That's how it is. That's how it feels. Going out around hometown is different because I'm here every day and this is where I live, and it hurts me to see idiot tourists doing idiot stuff or idiot people. And so like that, I would prefer to go out to Disneyland or an amusement park, or go out and do something weird where I don't know anybody and I don't expect to know anybody and I'm the tourist, you know. Right? Yeah, Joey knows what I'm talking about. Fuck it. You're a tourist. Do whatever the fuck you want. You know, fuck them. You know? Oh, wrong turn. Tourist. Not my fault. That's it. That's how it goes. Hi, Bessie. Come on up. Come on up here, Bessie. You want to get up here, Bessie? Come on. Come on. You can come up, baby, Bessie. All right. Just eyeball me. I don't know how to read her. Yeah. Once again, bucket list thing would be to spend a month at Disney World. Just get a pass. And even if it's just the one Disney World, multiple parks at Disney World, just the one pass. Me and the girls and quite possibly the dogs, depending on where we stayed, right? If I'm going to go there for a month, I'm not going to want to be without my dogs for a month. So we'd have to stay in like a house or camp or both, you know, have rooms 2 nights a week in a motel, and then where we can have dogs, and then have 5 nights a week in a campground in a rented RV or my van and a tent, so that we could have the dogs with us and have that shared experience, you know. And then it's like, okay, well, it's time to go to the park. Who wants to go to the park? Who wants to stay with the dogs? We got some friends over, you know. Whose friends? Your friends. All right, well, you guys go in. I'm going to stay here with the dogs. And you got a month, right? So that's where it's okay to have dogs with you. It's okay to just have a couple of people to go into the park. It's okay to have somebody come and sit and dog watch while you go into the park. You know, have a friend come over and a local friend come over and sit and hang out with the dogs for the evening while everybody goes to the park together, you know, and do a family thing. I could totally dig that. And then go out with that same person, you know, 2 days later in the afternoon and ride a bunch of frickin' rides. I don't know. National parks, state parks, I would love to drive around. Not necessarily go out and do them all at once, but I would love to drive out and see a few of the national parks, especially the ones that are close. Or closer. You know, I'd love to go do the Appalachian Trail, but that's a far piece and that's a lot of work. I'd be more likely to drive through Yellowstone if it's open, if it hasn't turned into a giant volcano. Yosemite's close. I could drive to Yosemite in one day, spend a couple of days there and drive back with the family, dogs included. I'd love to go to Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. I'd love to do the Grand Canyon. Yeah, there's a lot of places that I would love to go to. I'd love to visit a couple of Indian reservations. That would be great. I've always wanted to go to the Navajo reservation. And it's close. What, 4 Corners? That's not too bad. Yeah. I've got the vehicle to do it. Now I just have to get this thing ready to go. You know, and do I have enough time left in my existence? Because I look at everything like tick-tock, tick-tock, you know. How much time is it going to take? How much time do I need to prepare to do that and to make the van work right, and how much money, and then it comes down to money, and how long is it going to take to gather that money to get that done, and then get that done, and then plan to go out on the trip. And I'm thinking about reunion. Focus on reunion. The channel stuff I can do as long as I can, you know, raise a hand to click a mouse. I can do this channel shit. Reunion stuff, I just want to get to the reunion, right? Get to the reunion. Get to the reunion. So that's my main focus. I don't want to create plans for anything else. If I'm going to get the van ready to roll, it's going to get ready to roll so I can take it to the reunion. That's it. It seats 7, right? So actually it seats more than that because it's got a dummy seat in the back. So I pull the back seat all the way forward and I can sit a couple of people in the back. And I believe there are seat belts back there as well. So that'll be cool. So I can seat 8 or 9 or 10 or something in there. So it's going to be important for me to get that thing up and motivated. Getting my dentures taken care of is going to be important. I don't want to think about any kind of medical stuff. I hate it when I set shit up for avalanches. Because if I worry about that kind of stuff, it'll take the wind out of my sails, and I will no longer be focusing on reunion. I'll be focusing on me, you know. And you know, there's only so much you can really do for yourself before you just gotta say, oh well, you know, we all are pretty much on the same road, you know. I'm sure once I get to the reunion, I'll put another goal out there. And maybe that will be the goal. Taking some road trips. But I don't want to set up any more than what I've got on my plate already. So I can't really think about road trips. Oh man, I would love to take a fucking road trip. That Vegas trip we did, it quenched my thirst for a road trip a little bit. But it also got me pumped up for wanting more, too. So, but my van is up and running now. I got a new battery in it. I'm driving it. I vacuumed it out, cleaned it, hosed it off. I put the new tags on it finally, 6 months after having gotten the new tags. I feel like I'm going to be putting new tags on it here and really quick. Yep. So, yeah, cool beans. I think I'd be really happy if I could do some local traveling in the van. The only bummer is if I'm just taking a trip to Lake Elsinore to drive around and then come back, that's a lot of gas to just drive down and come back. So why not just take the little hybrid, right? If I'm going to drive down there, I might as well stay a couple of nights, right? Get a campground and get a campsite and stay a couple of nights. And I can't do that. I could, but I won't. Not alone. You know, I don't want to go down and camp alone. That's ridiculous. So I'll, probably take another day trip down there to scout venue sites. Hopefully to meet up with Gary this time. Totally had missed each other last time. He was up on the mountain while I was down by the lake. Totally. I don't know what I'm going to do over there for this office. It's a small area. It feels like it's about, oh man, I don't know, it's a small room, 9 feet by 8 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet by 6 feet. It's a really small cubicle area that is meant to be a dining room. But we don't have that. We have that over there. So that room has pretty much just been an extension of the living room. But I'm going to now turn that cubicle into a little office studio place to focus all of my stuff and components and all of my attention over into one spot. And I'm just trying to think on how I'm going to shoehorn all of this technology into that little corner. I really need bookshelves. I'm going to have to put up another monitor. I need a monitor. I want to start using a widescreen monitor for my video editing over here. I've already got one set up for this one. I use the my audio video monitor here, doubles as my computer extension monitor. Hey, peace, guys. All right, take care. If you go antiquing, try to buy something more than pipes and go to more than one store. Love you guys. Take it easy. Have a good one. I'm going to sit here and talk to myself because I got nothing better to do. And I got an hour and a half left to do it in. Shelves. I need to come up with some shelves. I need bookshelves because I got a shitload of stuff that I use for the channel. I need a place to put my printer scanner. I'm going to need a place to put video machines for when I start doing video transfer, because that's going to happen in this area over there. Man, it just doesn't seem like enough space. I'll have to use some of the space between my ears. Dude, that's gnarly. Totally gnarly, dude. Yeah, man. My daughter's been playing video games in her off time, which is usually when I'm awake. She usually does schoolwork in the middle of the night when everybody's asleep, because that's when she can focus, and that's when she's most awake, because she sleeps pretty late in the day. She gets up later in the day to do her online classes. And then when she's not going to campus, when she goes to campus, she gets up early. Spends the whole day on campus. But, yeah, she does. She's got a pretty crazy schedule. Man, this whole, do I put everything against the wall, or do I put myself against the wall and have everything out around me? I think putting everything against the wall is space-wise, it's going to save me room. It's not going to look good on camera, but I don't think I'm going to be coming back on camera for a while. I think this might be my last morning show. Yeah. I'll have to check the calendar, but if I haven't moved my dentist stuff, which I might have moved it into November, into later in the month. But we'll see. And if not, I may have to, if I have no word. And if I have got word on it, I may move it anyway so that I have time to gather up my own denture resources before then so that I'm ready to go. And can then do the dental extraction and then go right into waiting a couple of weeks and getting a thing made and sending that in and getting that done. I think that's going to probably work best for me, while waiting for the insurance to deal with that and doing that route that's going to take as long as 6 months. So we'll see. We shall see. But I don't feel like I'm going to be doing any live stuff for a while. So yeah, I'll probably push everything against the walls to give myself some more floor space and the ability to pop in a little small table to set up, or one of these trays to set up a machine temporarily for video transfer. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to take U-matic 3/4 inch large tapes, transfer them from that to the computer. I have the equipment to do that, but at the same time I want to take those tapes and save them onto like VHS at the same time while I'm transferring them. During the transfer, have a videotape machine recording what's coming off. I like backup. I like to have secondary stuff. Having everything on one hard drive bugs me so much that I feel like I need to go out and buy another hard drive and have all of the important stuff on 2 different hard drives so that I can have backup, right? Because right now, everything that's on my external hard drives is not backed up to the cloud. I'm going to have to figure out how I can do that, probably by paying a bunch of money, because it's like terabytes, multiple terabytes worth of information. So that could be difficult. I think we're going to have biscuits and gravy today. I see sausage in the fridge, and I think it's going to be fried potatoes and biscuits and sausage gravy. Totally. That gets me excited. Yesterday I made corned beef hash. Usually I make roast beef hash out of leftover roast beef. But my wife did the potatoes, and then she peeled them and parboiled them, and then I took it from there. And then, of course, she didn't feel like eating because she had to leave. So I macked on a huge plate, and then when my daughter got up at around 1:30 in the afternoon, hours later, I warmed it up and made her an egg and toast and hooked her up. So much so that I don't think she ate again until dinner. lunch for her, dinner for us. And then, of course, she's up in the middle of the night at about a normal dinner time, and she's on her own. It's like, okay, well, sometimes she'll have lunch for dinner, or she'll have lunch for lunch at dinner time, so that she can have that dinner that we're having at dinner time. She can have it later and heat it up and have it later for her actual dinner time, which sometimes is like, 10 o'clock, midnight. Totally. Gone to head out. I'm so excited about getting this room cleared out. I just ran out of energy yesterday, drive. I'll probably do something similar today. Get done here, get some food, get some stuff rolling on the computers, get dressed, go clean a house, come back, try to get some things here in the house organized and moved around. And then I think this weekend I'm going to be moving this whole unit over into there. Since all of the live stuff is going on hiatus, I'm not really going to need to have all of this set up in here. This is my set, so I'm not going to need to be on the set. I can turn this back into a living room and start living in it again and just do studio stuff over in the corner. That'll be cool. Push everything up against the walls in there, get me some bookshelves so that I can keep all of my stuff around me. I think if I get a 2-shelf old style bookshelf with a nice smooth top on it and put it over there under my air conditioner, I can fill it full of all of the books that I need to run my channel, and then have room on top to put my printer and other technologies. That'll work. And then have a little extra space in the room for setting up a machine for video transfer. I think that's going to work. I think I'm going to have to, and then I can just mount a monitor directly to the wall wherever I need it. And then just face that monitor when I'm working on that monitor. There you go. Problem solved. Coffee cold. Gonna go warm it up. I wonder who else is gonna stop by on this possibly last morning show. Yeah, I don't know. I try to write stuff down, so I might have already changed my appointment. I've changed it so many times, though I can't remember if I've already changed it again. I just want to get it over with, but I didn't want to get started on it and then get to where I wasn't going to go all the way through. But now that I know that I can probably get dentures somewhere else at a reasonable price, I'm probably just going to go that route as well, so that I can survive until I get the insurance teeth. Let me check the dog situation. Okay, so I checked the calendar. No, I did not change the dentist appointment. So I'm going to have to call today and get it changed because it is Monday. And I don't think I'm ready yet. I might push it until after Thanksgiving and then have time to do my research and have Thanksgiving dinner because it'll be like my last big meal. And then try to get that denture kit in before I get the teeth extracted so that as soon as I'm healed up, I can get that thing sent in and get some friggin' teeth made. All gold. I could probably do that. I could probably get dentures that are set up like a grill, right? With, gold and diamonds and rubies and stuff. Oh, jeez. Well, why not, right? I could have multiple sets of dentures. Fuck it. Like jewelry. Teeth are like jewelry then, right? So, I think that's the plan, Stan. I think I'm just going to make a schedule. And then stick to that schedule. And I think it's going to have to be after Thanksgiving. So, probably the first week of December, do that so that by the third week of December, I've got the mold sent in, and within the first month of the year, hopefully be getting teeth, right? And then be waiting another 4 or 5 months to get the teeth through the insurance. But I think that's the plan. I'm going to have to sit down with my calendar and start writing a comprehensive schedule of channel stuff, reunion stuff, and personal stuff, and try to come up with a comprehensive diet change that's going to do me good. I like to eat meat. Meat seems to do me okay at this point just because there's a lot of protein involved. But I'm going to have to make some kind of a change because I know it's not healthy. I wish I had gone vegan by like the age of 21. I think it would have served me well. And I'm kind of hoping I can talk my daughter into, she's a cheeseburger kid like me, but I'm hoping I can talk her into not going strictly vegetarian, but leading more of a vegetarian lifestyle, where most of her diet is focused on lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and grains and nuts and that kind of shit. And then, on occasion, have kind of a Mediterranean, Asian outlook on meat. Right? I think that would be beneficial. And all I can really, I can't tell her what to do, and I won't. So all I can do is try to let her know that, look, doing this didn't work so well for me. Maybe you should try something else. Right? So with smoking didn't work out so well for me. All right? Maybe you should try something else. So it's going to be the same thing with foods. Right? I'm sure she knows that food that, like sodas and soft drinks, are not good for your body or your teeth. which is why she probably stopped drinking them a long time ago, because I'm sure she recognized in me that it was not good, right? So if I can be a positive influence, that's great. If I can be a positive influence by showing a negative result of what happens, so be it. Yeah, she'll do well to learn from my mistakes and my shortcomings. And I think for the most part she does. You know, she doesn't rub my nose in it and say, I'm better than you because I don't do what you do, right? But she knows that the things that I do probably aren't good. She's probably not going to follow the same path. She's more like her mother, a little more responsible, a lot more responsible than me. Anyway, anywho, I'm just going to sit here and drink the rest of my coffee, do a few more bong hits, and think about what I'm gonna do here. What am I gonna do here? I think since I'm gonna move and put everything against a wall, that I'll probably be able to get my own calendar up, and because I'm gonna need it at this point. I'm going to need to know what's going on with the channel, and I'm going to need to know what's going on with the reunion on a regular basis, and I'm going to need it in my face. So I think I'm going to do a wall calendar over here, and just like we use in our room for housekeeping, put a full-size calendar there, a desk blotter calendar. That's a good calendar to use. Big squares to write stuff in. And then I'll do just that. I will keep track of what's going on with the channel, what's upcoming, and what's going on with the reunion. And keep me on track. Okay, today I've got to do this, and that's on the calendar. I'm going to spend the whole day working on getting these two graphics done for the next shirt. I'm going to work on shipping. I'm going to work on whatever, gathering donations. If I had enough shirts that were shirts that I could go out and sell to collect money for the reunion, I would do that. But I don't want to have random people out in the world wearing Lake Elsinore shirts. I want Lake Elsinore people to be wearing those shirts. So I don't want them like general public shirts. That's why going through this group, I grew up in Lake Elsinore, we're going to get a lot of those people who are going to know what the shirts mean. But I wish I had a half dozen styles of shirts, designs, that I could just take here in town and hold out on a street corner and sell shirts to random people and make some mega bucks, because I wouldn't have to deal with shipping. I could charge a decent price for them, and man, that would be great. And they would be going for the production of more shirts, right? Maybe I will gather together 8 tracks, clean and refurbish a shitload of 8 tracks and a couple of 8-track players, and go sit down in town on a weekend in the spring under a canopy with the van and sell 8 tracks. If I sold 8 tracks at $10 to $15 to $100, depending on the 8-track, right? I could probably make $1,000 in a weekend if I had the right crowd, right? And if I was in the right location. Have a big sign that says 8 tracks. And then have a couple of players, have one hooked up and playing, running from the van, where you could pull an 8-track and stick it in there and play it and listen to it, right? Have them all bagged up, and clean and ready for playing, where you can look in and see the brand new splice. Yeah. So I could do something like that as a fundraiser. Just take 1,000 8-tracks down and try to sell a third of them. You know, even at $10 or $15 a pop, if I sell 300, that's a good chunk of money. That's a good chunk of T-shirt money. Totally. Totally. I could totally get into that, you know. Okay, I'm getting excited about everything. About friggin' everything. I've got to get a bunch of this stuff out of here to make room. There's another early appointment coming in. You know, why don't you wait until 8 to send appointments or bookings? Every time you do that, you wake my wife up early. I hate that. I hate that. And you distract me. I just need a good studio area set up over there. And balance between the studio and the reunion and work and home life, right? And I usually just do it all from this chair right here in this room, you know, and between this and the vehicles in my van and whatever we go to do. But mostly it's this room here where I get everything done. My little tiny little shack of a house. I'm considering whether or not I'm going to still do videos while I'm off air, while I'm on a hiatus, and I it's possible I might have a video recording while I'm working in the studio. If I'm just working on one computer, then I may have a camera rolling, watching me work. If that's the case, I may hold up notes to the camera, or I may speak to the camera if I feel comfortable. It's probably stuff I'm not going to put on YouTube, but at least I can continue the record keeping. Continue my daily log. And stay aware and stay on camera. And keep that constant. I don't want to be off camera too long. It's, you know, because it's very therapeutic. So I'll probably, in some fashion, I may even do a live over-the-shoulder camera with no mic, where you're just kind of watching me in my studio doing my stuff. That's a possibility too. That's totally possible. I'm really, really trying to get another computer. You know, I really need another computer. I don't need another laptop. I've got plenty of laptop. I need a desktop gaming computer that's retired from gaming, has been refurbished. It can run like Windows 10 or 11. Doesn't matter. It can be old. I just need something fast and strong with a lot of memory. And what it lacks in memory, as long as it makes up in speed, that's fine. I can add memory to it. I can order memory to install in there, or I can just get more external. But for the sake of the reunion and for the sake of the channel, the studio, I really need to get another computer, and it needs to be a big desktop PC, something that's really strong. The faster I can do this stuff, the more I can squash into smaller amounts of time, and I can just get more done, right? If I'm creating these videos on a computer that's processing them and saving them 10 times faster, I'm doing that many more videos a day, right? 10 times whatever. If I'm doing 10 videos a day, now I'm pumping out, you know, a shitload. And this computer is fast, which I'm using this computer to do big videos, and I'm using this one to do smaller videos. So right now, I'm pumping out, between the two of them, about a dozen videos a day. If I'm just doing them while I'm kind of doing my other stuff, and it's like, oh, it's done, I'll get over and set up another video, okay, go. Oh, you're done, set up another video, okay, go. And then I go about my business, and I come back and it's been done for a while. If I'm on top of it, I can just keep knocking them out, knocking them out, knocking them out, going from one to the other and back and forth and back and forth. And I could probably double that, get 20, a couple of dozen, you know. And uploading, I'm going to have to change things on YouTube so I can upload more videos per day. Once I do that, I'll be able to set up programming for an entire friggin' year ahead of time with most stuff. Just set it up and put it out there, and it'll happen when it happens, you know. I'm going to record some EOL videos so that when I'm gone, my channel is still happening and I'm popping up on occasion with a message from beyond, right? That's going to be cool. Hey, if you're watching this video, it means that I am no longer around. But hey, guess what? I'm still here. Stop by my channel and check it out. Every once in a while, you're going to get a new video from me. So be sure to stay tuned. Right? Won't that be neat? So I'm going to try to shoot a bunch of that stuff and get that on there and just upload it for like a year out. Like, it's okay, I'm going to upload it now and it's going to premiere in a year from now, right? Or as far out as I'm allowed to set up premieres. And then I'll have things on calendars, I'll have alarms set on my phones so that if we get to like a month to where those videos, those EOL end of life videos are gonna, or afterlife videos are going to air, and I'm still around, I'm just gonna adjust the premiere dates and push them further out, you know, and just keep doing that until I'm no longer around to push those dates further out, and then that's there you go. If I ain't around, then those things are gonna air, and I will just have my family take care of my channel while I'm gone until it runs its course, and everything that I do, audio and video, is eventually going to be collected and stored on these little external hard drives here at home, or on disk, or on a thumb drive. They'll be in various places. I am going to burn a bunch of stuff onto disk and onto thumb drive, and mail it to mail various things to various people for them to save, archive, so that it's in more than one place. More than one person has this information, this data, these records of my existence. Because I I don't want them to fall into the hands of people who are like, what the hell's this? And fucking landfill it. Or it winds up on a swap meet table. Here, anybody want a hard drive? So these hard drives have to be archived in a way that no matter how far down the generational chain they go, everybody still knows what the hell is there. What, it's not just a hard drive, but it's a collection of me. It's me. This is me, right? This is the best I could do, saving who I am and who I was, so that I'm still around, right? This is this. That's what this is. Oh, that's Grandpa. That's great Grandpa. That's great 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 Grandpa. Every once in a while, we plug him into an AI, and he becomes interactive, right? Sure, why not? I don't know. I don't think that I'm ever going to survive past the next couple of years physically. But if I can survive posthumously in some way, that's the best I can do. And so this YouTube channel is a big part of that. This is a huge part of me trying to hold on to my existence after I'm gone, right? Because these morning shows that I do, I started them almost a year ago. Early December, I believe, is when I first started doing these. So there's a lot of stuff there. And it doesn't matter when you look back at any of these shows, they're moments frozen in time, right? So there's a lot of me in there in this last year of morning shows. I'm kind of bummed that we aren't, and maybe we will go to early December if I put this dental stuff off, and we can do a full year of morning shows, which I think is probably what's going to happen. It's going to go to about the first week that I did this a year ago, and then I'll be going on hiatus for a couple of holidays and a couple of months until I come back and start doing something a little bit different. Because I really want to change. I want it to happen organically. I want to come up with something that feels good. I do want to do an Elsinore Brothers and Sisters live show. So I need to come back as quick as possible. The longer I take to come back, the more we lose momentum with this whole reunion thing. I'm going to heat this up. Don't nobody go nowhere. I'll be right back. We got about an hour to go. Everybody's still asleep. I think in an hour I am going to set up things to process and save and continue with the videos I've been working on, and keep working on Dimension X until they're all finished. All 45 videos are finished. And then over here I'm going to finish off Dragnet, and then go into whatever other weekly video I have that I need to bolster the count of. I need to have, I think, 2 months worth of each show, so that I can take all of my video uploads and upload them all the way through to the middle of January. Right? January, middle of February. I need to get set up so that I'm free of worrying about creating videos or uploading videos for the channel, borrowed content wise, educational films and old-time radio shows. Once I get to that point to where everything is uploaded for at least 2 months ahead of schedule, ready to pop on the channel, that's going to free me up to do a whole bunch of other video work. I have so many, and t-shirt work. I have so many things, ideas going on, and I just have to write them down and then move on because I don't have time. So I want to create a whole bunch of time to work on that shit. So yeah, I'm doing like 10 dragnets. So that's 10 weeks. 10 dragnets, that's 10 weeks. So I think what I'm going to do is, pardon me, do 10 weeks of, make sure that I have 10 weeks of every single show. Nero Wolf has run its course, and November 27th is the last Nero Wolf. So the following week, there has to be a new show. So I'm going to have to create 10 episodes of a new show to upload in that time slot. It's a Nero Wolf. I might dig up another version of Nero Wolf and do that. Keep everything the same, just change the star. Now it's this guy. I think when we're done with, if we get done with Dragnet, we're going to move into Texas Rangers. We might bring Escape in and put it in the place of something, because Escape is a great show. But if I can create at least 10 weeks worth of every weekly show, and then at least 4 episodes of the monthly shows, the ones that only air every 4 weeks, then I'll be ready to just upload everything, as many episodes as I can get away with in a 24-hour period. Like I said, I may have to set things up differently and join the premium YouTube thing just so that I can do my stuff quicker, right? Just so I can move on and use the computer for something else, because it takes both computers uploading stuff, not together. I can't do it simultaneously. I have to do one and then upload everything off of this computer, and while I'm working on this one, and then upload while I'm working on this one. But I can work better between the 2 computers if they're both available to me. One desktop would allow me the ability to work on videos, creating video content 100% on one computer, and then that would turn one computer 100% of the time into a graphics computer for live stuff, and that would then make one computer full-time live. And then if I were to use a Chromebook for full-time live, I could then take this laptop here, and it would then be portable, and then I could use it to then do work on the go in my lap, on the couch in bed, and it would expand my studio out to my van, and in other places where it would be easy just to take it, unplug it, and just carry it out and take it wherever I need to take it. I don't think that I'm going to be doing a lot of going out and recording. As much as I wanted to be the guy out there with the video camera recording stuff all of the time and creating really bitchin' videos out of that, physically I don't see myself being able to do that. What I would like to do is put a camera in somebody's hands and say, okay, record stuff and then get me the video and the audio video stuff. Record and then get it to me, and I'll upload it onto my computer and get you the card back, and do it like that, so that I'm more of the in-studio guy, because it seems about more my speed, you know. Had it been 10 years ago, I think I probably would have been more into doing that. Had I done that, by now I probably would just be locked in the whole video thing and have a camera with me all the time. But then again, I don't know, depression, I get burned out on stuff, and I just have to change gears and move on. I lose interest in stuff that just makes me so happy, and then I just can't do it anymore, because as much as it makes me happy, it makes me crash and burn and feel horrible. So, yeah. Pardon me. Bong Hit. Well, pain is just about pushed aside for this morning. I think I'm about ready to start thinking about some food, which is difficult to do the first 3 or 4 hours in the morning. And since I've been up really since about 3, I got up at 3 to take a leak, and then kind of bounced around in bed until 4. Got up at 4:20, and was wide awake and working on the computer, going live by 4:30. But I think from here I'm going to eat some breakfast finally, get stuff started on the video, breakfast, video, watch a little bit of TV, have a shower, do a little bit of early organizing, and then get ready to go clean a house, then come back and do some more organizing and moving of stuff out of this room, get some stuff into my van that should be there, air mattress, spare pillows, spare sheets and blankets and that kind of stuff. It's a perfect place to store it, because the van is like a spare bedroom on wheels that I can park places and sleep. So if it's set up to sleep, all I need to do is take a cooler and a portable stove, and I'm ready to go park and camp somewhere. And I really, really want to be able to do that. So if I set the van up so that it's ready any time to just go park and camp, you know. Hey, you going home now? No, I want to go park over there and stay the night. What? Yeah. I'm going to go park over there and watch a movie, and then draw the curtains and sleep, and then get up in the morning and find a bathroom. Yeah, why not? I'm going to do that here in town. I'm going to go park right here in town and set up like I'm one of those van people, right? And set up a little outdoor campsite, you know, and sit out there with a little chair and book and a little portable stove and make some coffee and have some food and stuff and sit out there, and they'll be like, dude, where are you coming from, man? And, you know, I can make up some bullshit story. Or I could just tell them, I live right up the street. I just like to come here and pretend I'm a tourist. Go down there and do that and go live. Go live. Set up a camera and go live, but don't tell anybody that I'm live. Just set it up. Just have a sign there that says YouTube Live and see if they figure it out. Right? Excellent. Excellent. All right, I'm hoping to get more messages today from people who are getting their shirts. All the way out in Florida has already gotten their shirts. All the way up into Oregon has already gotten their shirts. Only one person here in California has gotten their shirts. Yeah, I mean, we still got Indiana and a few more places in California. I mean, and Ohio's already gotten the shirts. So I think it's about time that I make some kind of ad that says, these are the shirts that are available now. Everything else will be printed through the next donations that come in. All of the rest of the shirts will be printed through the next donations that come in. So fill those donations, right? Totally. I need to find a coffee hot plate. Something that keeps my coffee warm at my desk. Speaking of desks, I've got a huge teacher, 1970s, 60s, 70s teacher desk, big wood desk with the big boards that slide out to put a typewriter on. The big giant drawers, the big deep drawers, the one all the drawers lock. It's just a really, really nice old desk. It's huge though for my tiny little house. I used to have it here. I considered starting my show using that desk. I just may. I may reverse the whole situation in here, do my studio live over there and put my cameras in here aiming that way so I could keep my living room and have cameras going in both directions so that I get two different sets, right? So that's a consideration. It's not a bad idea, actually. Anyway, that desk, it's a huge-ass desk. It's probably going to get sold at a garage sale at some point. I don't like to downsize because I like to keep stuff in case it needs to be used for something. I've been collecting a lot of furniture and 70s and 80s stuff to try to turn one of these vacation rentals into a throwback vintage house to try to drum up business. And at some point I might get the go-ahead. You know, it's like, okay, one last ditch effort to get more bookings. Let's redecorate cheaply because most of the stuff is here, right? And we just have to alter a few things that remain. But I could totally see that working. I could totally see people looking at a house one way and going, looks like a doctor's office. I don't want to stay there. Or, yeah, let's stay there because it looks like a doctor's office, which is why it's really cheap because nobody wants to stay there. So let's stay there. But it would be better. Oh, the wife is awake, sending messages. It would be much better if it were set up like a vintage 1980s house with stuff in there from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I think it would just draw in a lot of business. I think it would be an easy sell. If you saw pictures of that place and you looked and went, oh, wow, check that out. There's a working 8-track, there's a working VHS, a turntable, all of these things work and function, tube TVs, you know, and they're actually working items so that when you're staying in the house, you feel like you're staying back in the 1980s. Yeah, because that's, I mean, look around, right? I mean, look, is the sun too bright? Yeah, look around. You know, that's what my house is. I have got so much 60s, 70s, and 80s packed into this small room. You know, and every place around, I try to make it look like it's an actual, you know, this is Grandpa's room. This is, you know, yeah, this is the real deal. So I could, without detracting much from what I have here, I would take a few things over to the house from within this room, but not much. I wouldn't need to. I've got so much stuff collected within 3 different areas that I could put together a pretty Gucci-looking 1980s house. I would have to spend a little bit of money to get a couple of items to finish it off, and I'd have to do some remodeling work myself, some painting, and shelves and curtains and that kind of stuff. We could just use the existing sofas and then just use sofa covers to give them that old school look, right? Same thing with chairs. Just put covers, just buy covers for them or make covers for them that look vintage. Do some wallpaper trim in the bathrooms and a few items to give it that twist. The bedrooms and the living room would be the big decoration areas. They would take a lot of items to pull it off. A good rug, some good covers for the furniture, a few pieces of good vintage furniture, a nice big tube television console deal, a VCR, a bunch of tapes, bookshelves and media shelves and that kind of stuff. A lot of knickknacks, that you would see in a 1980s house. I think that would be really easy to pull off. If I got the go ahead, in fact, I might do that. I might just say, okay, look, in my head, I've got the word that in the spring we're going to switch this house over and we are going to take new photos and advertise it differently, right? And then work toward that goal, and then just have that on the calendar. Okay, today I've got to refurbish this furniture and get this ready to stack up and, collect these things for this room, make sure that all this works, make sure that we have working VCRs and 8-track players and turntables and that kind of stuff, at least 2 or 3 in the wings in case these fail. I could swap them out and then repair. I just dug up 3 tape rewinders, videotape rewinders. One of them is a Betamax rewinder and 2 VHS rewinders. I remember that I sent my brother a videotape rewinder, a VHS rewinder, to save the life of the 2 VCRs that I sent to him. And I sent him one and then one as a backup. And he put one in one room and one in the other. And I'm like, right on, man. Get some use out of those things. So every once in a while, he'll pop on a videotape. I need to send him some more videotapes and some more records. Because I love to share this vintage crap, which is a big reason why I want to curate a bunch of it in packages so that I can do drawings for the reunion. Who wants to win an 8-track player and a bunch of tapes, right? And not only that, but you can pick out the 8-track player you want, and here's an empty case, and there's a shelf filled with 8-tracks. Pick out the 8 tracks that you want to fill that case. If you're lucky, you'll win another drawing for a case, an empty case that you can fill with more, right? But you start that vintage bug in people, and then they start realizing what time travel is, and this is time travel. This room, this is my time machine. I go all kinds of places using everything in this room: the computer, the turntable, the 8-track player, the books, the encyclopedias, all these records, the TV, the VCR, the DVD player, the Betamax player, streaming videos. Everything that I do here is time travel. It all has to do with time travel. I go so many places that when I come back, I can't even remember where I've frickin' been, man. That's why I got to start keeping a log of what's going on in my head, what's going on in movies and TV and music, because it's all about time travel. Parallel dimensions. I'm going to create some kind of time machine that surrounds me on the screen, so that when you're looking at me right now, and I'm looking at the camera, around me in places like where Holiday Chicken is and my computer monitor over here is, and all of this stuff surrounding me are components of my time machine, all kind of created in a console. So it should look like a console with me kind of in the cockpit of this console, so that on occasion I can push a button and we switch to a different camera, and now I'm in this console and we're time traveling, and we can see time and space moving by. We can see things popping up on a monitor that show us what time period we're in, and I can kind of control all of these things in each episode. So that's going to be kind of fun. That's one of the elements to the show I want to do. Time travel, the time machine camera. Here's retro cam, where all of a sudden we're looking to an old camera, and it's black and white or whatever. Yeah, maybe I'll put on a different hat, and now we're switched to black and white retro cam. I got a different hat, and I've got a couple of different things. We switch cameras, so now we're looking at a different wall that's got different stuff on it, or whatever. Make it real simple. Go to green screen. I know I've got the ability to do green screen on all of this shit here. I just haven't figured it out, which is another thing that I need to make room for on my calendar by setting up programming 2 months out. Is going to allow me the time to sit and fuck with these computers and get this figured out, And I may do a lot of live testing while I'm off the live programming, and I'll probably do a lot of live testing where I'm the only one that can watch it on a monitor and see what's going on, and it's not shared private, or it's not shared publicly. Create some private live stuff so that I can run my tests and make my notes on how to set things up for my upcoming shows, how to set up a live stream ahead of time so that it's always the same. I just go to the same thing, alter my episode number, and boom, it's ready to go, hit live. I know I have the ability to set that up. I don't know how to work it. I know I can use green screen. I know I can bring in special effects and sounds and key up graphics over the top of stuff. But I just haven't figured out how to do it. I need to sit and watch videos, and it's hard to sit and watch videos when you're creating videos. So the next couple of weeks, I'm just doing that. I'm going to upload a shitload of stuff. Right now, I'm worried about uploading next week's programming. While creating all of the programming for 2 months, I'm going to be uploading next week's programming over the next couple of days. But I'm not going to stop there. By then, I will have hopefully created enough material to upload the next 2 months, and I'll just keep every day. I'll upload as many videos as I can get away with uploading, and just do that every day. Every morning, I'll just upload videos, upload, and then when I'm maxed out then I can worry about my own stuff. But all of the videos should be created by then. And I should just upload until I'm done, and then I can work on my own alternate projects. Because I've got a lot of those. And I really need to get those out of the way. Making shirts, working on my own personal videos, learning how to use all of this technical shit. I need to have a calendar and a pegboard or a cork board so that I can literally have every show set out in front of me on how to get every show together, and every element I need to create to come back in the late winter, early spring with gusto. At the same time, working on shirts, working on creating content, and creating new content. It's a lot to do when some days I can hardly keep my eyes open and I'm like passed out at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then it's real hard to get up by 6 and get back into the swing of things, you know. And if I lay down at like 2, by 3 I'm asleep enough to where I'm actually resting. But by 5 o'clock I'm starting to stir again, so that by 6 o'clock I just got to get up. So I really only get, if I lay down for 4 or 5 hours, I'm only going to get 2 hours of rest. Last night I got into bed after 10 and then put on a sleeping pill movie and rolled over and closed my eyes and got to sleep relatively early. But like I said, I was up at 3. I was up at 3 going, geez, I better keep looking at the clock. Well, Holiday Chicken is pretty excited about the next holiday coming up. I think Holiday Chicken said he wanted a pilgrim hat with an eagle feather stuck in it, or a turkey feather. Maybe it was a turkey feather. I think he wanted a turkey feather stuck in his pilgrim hat, and that was going to be his costume for Thanksgiving. So I need to dig up my construction paper and make and my glue and scissors and make a little hat for Ace, the holiday chicken. Of course, he got his name Ace because that was his first costume. I think my chicken there is going to become a regular part of the channel in some fashion. I think he's going to enter into just about every live video that I do from here on out. When I do the cockpit time machine for the cockpit key graphic thing, I think he's going to be in there. If I can get my daughter to ever draw a picture of me to use as a graphic for my channel, I can get her to draw the chicken too. Maybe, fingers crossed, that over the holidays I can get my daughter to do a little bit of artwork for me and some video transfer from Apple to Windows, which means we're going to have to get a program that translates the stuff. And if anybody knows anything about this, I need to translate Apple iPhone to Windows without losing or degrading the data. So I need a good program for that. or app or whatever. Whether it's something I can install on my iPhone that turns it into a manageable Windows file that I can then send to my computer or whatever. Trip Roy is checking out my channel. That's cool. I put my weekly program guides on Facebook so that people can see what's happening every week on my channel and start to get the idea that, hey, this guy's got a lot of bullshit going on. We better go check it out. Because it's a lot of bullshit. But it's fun bullshit. You know, it's nothing that's going to kill you. You're probably going to learn more watching my educational videos and listening to my old-time radio shows than you ever will watching anything on TV or YouTube or anything else, unless it's like an educational show. But it's got to be more educational and more entertaining than most of the crap on commercial television and cable television. And I'm not saying this because I create a lot of really cool content. I'm talking about the borrowed content that I find and curate and then create videos out of and then upload. That's some cool stuff to watch. I will on occasion watch my channel and put on a video that I didn't really have a chance to watch, and I'll be amazed how cool these fucking things are. And then I learned something from these old videos. And you learn it from a past perspective, right? Which makes it time travel, which makes it really fun and entertaining. Really. Abso-friggin-lutely. Yeah. So I'm starting to learn how I can create and upload content for further and further and further out. I would like to be able to save and upload and save content for premiere months and years out in the future, so that no matter what I'm doing, where I'm at, whether I'm here or gone, I've got stuff popping up on my channel, you know. Make sure that my computers stay up and stay active when I'm gone. Make sure that all the codes and passwords and stuff are available after I'm gone. And make sure that at least one person in the family knows how to take a file and upload it onto YouTube. Right? So that if I can't upload so many years out, I've still got videos that can be uploaded after that. You know, my phones are going to need to be on and active for months and perhaps years after I'm gone, because of the you're going to need to be able to get in contact with people for a certain amount of time. You're going to need to access some of the things on my phone for a certain amount of time until things are switched over and switched around, canceled here and reprogrammed here or whatever. So some of this stuff is going to need to be active for months and years after I'm gone. So I want to make it easy to deal with, and I want to make everything that I'm doing safe for future use, whether by my daughter or someone down the road, whether it's part of this family or just generations removed, and they pick it up at a frickin' swap meet or off a table somewhere, and they're like, well, I'm gonna plug this into one of those old converters and see what's on this old, you know, ancient hard drive, and see what it is. And they'll find me and all of my crap. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take a few of these hard drives that are similar or the same in size and shape, and I'm going to stack them in a package where they're all contained in one solid cube, right? Whether it's a couple or a bunch, and be able to expand it, or say, okay, well, this is all that it needs to be right here. This cube is all that it needs to be, and have all of these hard drives in that one cube, have them all labeled so you can see what's on every hard drive, and have it a permanent record of my existence and all of the fun things, entertainment and stuff that I've done. It won't just have YouTube stuff on there. It'll have family videos and photos, concert videos and photos. It'll be my entire life curated from the first photos I have of myself, the first videos I have of myself and family and friends, and on down the line until the last photos and videos and audio I have of myself and family and friends and stuff. And have it all compiled on that one block of external hard drives. All of it saved, all of it hopefully backed up in a couple of places, so that when I'm gone, I'm still here in some fashion. That is probably my ultimate bucket list goal, is to get everything of me on that. Everything. At some point, I would like to have a database of all of the videos that I own, all of the records that I own, everything that I've pretty much owned in this room, so it becomes a catalog of not just my experiences, but the things that helped me share those experiences, and the physical, a list of those physical representations of the things that I experienced. Right? So, if ever there was the chance to take all of this information in this block of external hard drives and take it and upload it into an AI, it would have the information to recreate everything in this room, because there would be a full catalog, a database of everything in this room. A catalog of all of the shirts that I own and photographs of the shirts, a catalog of all of the albums that I own, right? Everything, every single thing, my corduroys, my jacket, my shirts, my socks, whatever, so that at some point I am completely captured in this thing, in bits and pieces, so that you can take all of these bits and pieces and, as a computer programmer in the future, be able to enter all of that into an AI and say, give me this guy in his room, right? And then it can bring me back to life. What the hell? That would be my ultimate desire, I guess, is to be remembered in some way like that. Maybe take a copy of that, all of that information, and upload that onto some archives, send a copy of it to, fucking Columbia University Computer Department. I don't know, wherever they do AI, send it to somebody and say, here, this is me, and I'm just about ready to check out, but this is as much of me as I could capture, right? Right up through all of my live stuff and the live broadcasts of the reunion, because all of that has to be in some way broadcast live, even if it's just one static camera aimed at the main area, right? Even if that's all it is, it has to be captured in some fashion and hopefully recorded and going live at the same time. Because that's going to be an important part. That's going to be like the end note, right? That will probably be like my finale, and I may go on after that, but it's going to be different after that. My life after that will definitely take on a new direction. It'll be more about finishing up the obligations of the reunion, right? Dealing with the last of the T-shirts, dealing with the memorabilia, dealing with the yearbook of that event, and passing on all of the knowledge of this to the next volunteer who wants to create this again. And look, here's all of the contacts and the connections and how to do everything and how I did it and the whole map of the whole Thomas guide for the whole path, right? The whole map. Here's your treasure map. This is how you get to the next reunion. Use it however you see fit, right? Use it or don't use it. Plan it your way or use my guidebook 100% or a combination of the two. But I will probably have moved on and be thinking more about travel and trying to see as much as I can at that point. And hopefully sharing those experiences in the same fashion, only a little differently and from different places, right? Doing live from other places while still doing stuff here, going out and doing more out in the world and seeing more while I'm physically able, if I am. Because it's always an if, right? You never know. You never know. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Should I stay or should I go now? I don't have any choice. It's either this or that. It's going to happen. It's eventual, right? You can't run from it. So embrace it, deal with it, move on, enjoy it while you can, you know. And then so that when it does come to that time, you can just say, well, you know, I did the best I could. I experienced the best life that I could while I could. You know, and that's all I'm after now. You know, quality versus quantity. I could go after quantity at the risk of quality at this point, and I don't really want to go. I really don't want to go out that way. I don't want to go out grasping at quality or quantity of life. Give me more days, and have to live those days, you know, feeling miserable because of the methods of life extension. You know, it is what it is. You know, we all get so much time here. It's all inevitable, right? Accept it and move on. There you go. Every Christmas, I think, oh, this is my last Christmas. Every birthday, oh, it's my last birthday. You know, so I get the most out of it. You know, because that's the way it is. You get what you get. You can go after more, but you're probably not going to get it. And if you do, it ain't going to be exactly what you want. Totally. Well, it's ticking. It's ticking down to the last few minutes. This is possibly, I was going to say probably the last show, but I don't think that Monday is going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen after Thanksgiving. Mainly so that I can have that last meal, that last big meal in peace and not all mushed up. And so I've got time to get my act together to get some dentures, be they temporary or permanent, but get that path set up and ready to roll so that when I'm doing the teeth thing, all of the ends are tied up and I can just move forward with it as quick as possible and get back to doing this crap. And so that I don't take any more time off than, say, through maybe the middle or the end of January and be back doing this, you know. And if I set things up for after Thanksgiving, that will allow me to get to where I will have done a full year of the morning show. And I think that is a milestone that I want to hit. So I'm going to look at my records in my book here and figure out when I started doing the show. And I think I'm going to take the show till as close to then as possible before I wrap it up and do the dental procedure. I think I owe that to myself, right? To take it to a full circle, right? And give myself that whole year of doing these shows. That'll be 52 weeks of this, times about, on average, 5 shows a week. I guess if it's on average, it's probably going to be more like 4.5 or 4 shows a week. Because some of the shows, while the episode numbers stay consistent, some episodes I didn't do an episode on that number. So there's no number in there with that episode on it. Or episode with that number on it. Yeah. But I think I owe it to myself to complete the entire year of morning shows and have that in my library of stuff. And I need to start pulling things off of YouTube as far as my live material, so I can once again catalog it at home and be responsible for its safety 100%, so that regardless of what happens on YouTube, whether it times out or they decide that it gets some copyright issue on it, I can still keep it and have it, for my own personal records, right? Like I said, I'm trying to catalog as much of me as possible. And the YouTube live stuff is a big part of that, so I need to get that off YouTube and onto some hard drives at home. So next goal, technology-wise, is to get that other external hard drive and start with the downloading of my live stuff and bringing it home. I've got enough hard drive power now to run my channel. Between my 2 external hard drives and freeing up memory on the computers, I've got probably another 6 months to 8 months worth of hard drive to create more material. I don't have enough room to do that and bring all of my live stuff home, because like I said, it's like going to be 52 weeks of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. I think there was 2 weeks I took off. I took a full 2 weeks off between season 2 and season 3. So it's going to be about 50 weeks of shows. Plus, or minus the odd show where I didn't do a show, technical difficulties, feelings under the weather, out of town, that kind of stuff, going to a concert. But for the most part, I got a shitload of live stuff that I need to deal with. Bring it home, curate it, file it, store it, and then figure out how to archive it on the internet and get it to somebody, eventually have it set up so that it has a place to go to in its entirety as a copy, so that it's not just stored here, but it's stored on the internet, and it's given to somebody who later is going to be able to take that and incorporate it into some kind of other archive, I mean, wouldn't it be nice if there was, in the future, in 50 years or something, there was an archive where the curator of the archive was a digital host, and that digital host was me in this room with all of my surroundings, plus that digital AI host would also have all of the knowledge of the entire world, but it would be presented as me, as this guy, right? That would be really, really weird. Talk about crazy. Coming to life in 50 years as some kind of, cyber being thing that runs a museum library. There was that movie War of the Worlds, not War of the Worlds. H.G. Wells, it was, but it was Time Machine, where the guy went way into bouncing around the future, and he got to one point where there was this library, and there was a digital guy, and he was like the host of the library. And then, of course, later on, he moved into they found him in the future and dug him up and used him then too. But that would be neat to live on as some kind of digital presence, right? Oh, that would be weird. Of course, I would have no knowledge of that because I'd be like dust, right? But others would. Others would be aware of it throughout different periods in time. So you would kind of live on, like the pyramids have lived on through time, right? Because they're there, right? When everything becomes digital, right? If you have a strong digital presence in that digital world, then you're going to last forever in that world, as long as that world lasts. And it may change, as it has changed in the last 100 years. The information age. I think we're still going to be holding on to much of the past audio and video stuff because it's history, and it's a way to live history, so to speak, when you're watching a movie or listening to a record or watching some crazy old weird bearded guy talking shit in the mornings, right? Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for me today. I am done. I am out of here. I am going to move on and have some breakfast and start creating here and get cleaned up and ready to go out into the world. And then I will probably be back Monday morning, because what are you going to do, right? All right, people, you know what to do. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Take care of each other. Do something for yourself, but just as well, do something for somebody else, too, because we ain't alone in this world. We're together on this, right? Right? All right, but most especially, stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody going to be weird for you, baby. All right. Peace, love. Adios. Take care. Bye now.